So hey guys, today we're going to be sewing a gathered sleeve, but not with the normal way in which people use their machines to sew, or by using like an electric sewing machine. But in this case, or they could also use elastic, like sewing directly on the fabric. But in this case, I'm going to be showing you a beginner friendly way of sewing your elastic, your gathered sleeve. And in this case, we're just going to be sewing like a loop in which you can pass in your elastic material into. So yeah guys, this is all what I'm going to be showing you in this video, and I hope like you guys understand it and actually like the method. Okay, so here I went ahead to cut my fabric in a way that will have excess. I cut the full length of my sleeve. First things first, I had already gone ahead to pin it out. I cut the full length of the sleeve, and I added extra allowance in the middle because I was going to I wanted my gather to be at the elbow part of my hand. So I just like in between the elbow where I was going to cut it, I added extra allowance, which will aid me in in creating a loop through which I was going to pass my elastic through. I hope you guys are understanding what I did here. I've gone ahead to pin out the place I'm going to sew. Yeah, so so that's basically it. So I'm just showing you guys here where I will be stitching. I'm going to be stitching about an inch in. I already marked it with a blue chalk, as you can see. So I'm going to be stitching it in that point. Yeah, from that line where I just like ruled, I'm going to be stitching there all the way down to the end, and then we're going to have to fold it back and then stitch it up. So you're just gonna see here I'm calculating it now, which is about 1 inch. We're just gonna calculate 1 inch. Altogether is 2 inches, if you can see, because if we're adding the both sides together, it's going to be 2 inches, but now that it's combined, it is 1 inch. So once you've sewn that blue part, we're just going to turn it to whichever side we want to turn it to, and then we're going to stitch it. It's just like we're top stitching, so we're just gonna stitch it all the way down again. And in that case, once it's stitched, then you can now you can now see a passage through which you're going to be able to pass your elastic inside the fabric. So all we're going to do now is just stitch that blue part all the way down, and then we're going to flip it to the other side and then just top stitch. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead to stitch it down all the way down. As you can see, I want to stitch it down, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be flipping it to whichever part. You can flip it to the bottom side, or you can flip it to the other way. There's no problem. Just flip it to whichever side you want to flip it to, and then you just go ahead and just sew like half an inch in, just sew half an inch in all the way down to the other end of the fabric. And you can see it just created a loop through which you're going to be able to pass your elastic in. So guys, I've gone ahead to do that. As you can see, I stitched it. You can see like it has created a passage for you. It has created a passage for you through which you can pass your elastic through. Okay, so simple and so easy, guys. So first thing you're going to have to first of all you're going to have to measure your round sleeve. You're going to have to measure your round sleeve. That is how long you want your elastic should be, but we're not going to be using the exact measurement of our round sleeve because it's an elastic. As you can see, it's an elastic, and so we're going to be removing 1.5 from the original length. I think my original length here was 9.5 inches, and I removed about 1.5 to make it 8. It was supposed to be 7, but I added like I added allowances in order to sew it, so it got to about 8 inches. I think 8 inches, that's including the allowance to sew. So we're just going to cut that out. So we're going to be cutting 2 parts so as to create for both sleeves. Okay, so we're just gonna go right on ahead and just fix that through the loop so you guys see what I'm talking about. Okay, here you go, guys. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting in our safety pins into the elastic so as to ensure a good way so as to ensure it passes through it effectively. Note that you shouldn't put your safety pin close to the edge of the elastic because it will easily just pull away, so you have to put it like deep inside, about like half an inch inside, so it doesn't just like remove easily. So now we're going to be putting our elastic through the passage that we have created. Okay, so here we go. As we are pushing our elastic in, we have to keep watch so that it doesn't just get lost inside the loop. We have to secure it first before we are able to just push it through however fast we want to. So we're just gonna push it through until the beginning lines up with the beginning of the fabric. Yeah, as you can see right here, it has aligned with the fabric. So now we're gonna take our office pin or whatever you can choose to sew. You can choose to sew it, but here I'm just going to be using my office pin and just locking that part out, so as I drag it doesn't go with me, it doesn't just like leave. Okay, so now we can easily pull. Since we have pinned the beginning, it's not going to just like run away, it's not going to just fly out, it is already secure, so we can drag as much as we want to, we can drag as hard as we want to. So when we get to the other end of the fabric, we're also going to pin so it doesn't go right back up into the, we have to secure it. Okay guys, we have to secure it. So now that we have gotten there, we're just going to take our office pin again and just secure that part as well. You can also decide to sew it if you want to sew it, but I choose not to sew it because at the end of the day I'm also going to like just sew everything together, so why not just use the pin first and then sew later on. Okay, so now you can see it's already created that gathered effect. Guys, guess what, like, can you see this? It has already created that gathered effect that we're looking for. Do not forget to turn the hem of the sleeve when you are completely done, or even before you join the different sides together. So guys, this is what we have. We have gotten our gathered effect. This is what you do. This is like strictly for beginners or other people. It's just like, so if you don't have access to a machine that can sew smoky effect or gathered effects, or if you cannot sew the elastic directly on the fabric, so you can just like decide to use this method. This method is really easy for me, so that's why I choose to do it, and that's why I wanted you guys to know. Okay.